development team at Sumo Digital have carved themselves quite a niche in the handheld arena. They've been porting racing games to portables for a variety of publishers since 2005, and now they've been tasked with bringing F1 2011 to the PS Vita. So how does Sumo's latest fare? Not too bad, really. Actually, in many ways it's better than expected. At first glance you won't confuse it for the console version. The visuals aren't quite as sharp, and the audio is a little less meaty, but it looks great on the Vita's enormous screen. This is very much the complete F1 2011 experience too, give or take. There are quick races for instant action, complete Grand Prix events featuring the whole race weekend, and an equally intimidating career mode. It features all the drivers and tracks of the admittedly dated 2011 F1 season, weather, tuning options, component failures, pit stops, driver assists, the KERS and DRS systems, it's all here. The Vita version also includes a challenge mode featuring a series of quickfire events like overtaking challenges and autocross style events. Each tier ends with a bonus challenge, like winning a GP on slicks when rain hits with just 2 laps to go. Unfortunately, the cosmetic damage model has been dumbed down considerably, and there isn't exactly a lot of crunch to the collisions. Also absent is the handy rewind feature. One of the most notable omissions, however, is the Live the Life presentation that gave F1 2011 on console its zest. The intro movie and its pumping Casanova's tune may get you all psyched up to slip into the fireproof booties of an F1 champ, but all those little celebratory scenes and such are missing from the Vita version. You step out of your car and directly into a series of menu screens. It's a little bland. F1 2011's handling, which is the most crucial aspect of any racing game, is quite good. It's more forgiving and lacks a bit of the nuance of the console versions, but it needs to be in order to be playable with the Vita's small stick. Also, you aren't able to control the throttle as delicately on Vita as you can with a console control pad, so a more forgiving model is probably a necessity. The cars feel a little light, and off track there's not really much loss of grip, but Sumo seems to have done a good job overall. The good news is that the AI has improved considerably since the disappointing F1 2011 on 3DS. However, F1 2011 on Vita is a game that doesn't really embrace all the capabilities of the console it's on. The front touchscreen, for instance, is used simply to change views. You can also use the rear touchpad as a substitute for the throttle and braking buttons, but it doesn't really add anything to the experience. It feels like a configuration added out of obligation rather than the impression it might work better than buttons, which it doesn't. It's the little things really. Why, for instance, do we have to input our names and such via the D-pad and an on-screen keyboard? Wouldn't it have made sense to let us type it in using the touchscreen? And on that topic, why can't we navigate and explore the menus by swiping? Why was the behind-the-scenes garage component from the console versions ditched when it could have been made all the more interactive on the Vita? Tiny stuff like this isn't a deal breaker, but it all amounts to build this impression of a game that hasn't exactly been built to exploit the real potential of the Vita. F1 2011 isn't quite up to the excellent standard of the console version, but it's still far better than the 3DS installment. All gripes aside, this is still a good sign of things to come for racing games on Vita. For more on the Vita launch titles, head over to IGN.com.